Ignatius Sancho?
No.
He did write essays.
Lawrence Sterne.
Oh, Lawrence Sterne. Yes, he persuaded Ignatius Sancho of Mayfair, the dandy of dandies, as Byron called him, the king of the dandies. He persuaded him, because he was born on a slave boat, and as he was coming out of his mother's body, his father slit his own throat because he was a king, and he couldn't bear, when he saw he was a boy, he couldn't bear that his son would see him as his father a slave.
Wow.
So he's purchased by a pair of little Welsh ladies, and then they were speaking to him poorly in a high-handed manner when he was a little 7-year-old boy in Bath, and so Lord Montagu stood up and he went and bought him, and he gave him an education with his wife, free run of the library. He learnt Latin and Greek.
It's very much what Marie Antoinette did with a child, and she raised the child as her own, but the child was kind of written out of history.
Now, that's very sad.
Yeah.
Well, Ignatius Sancho wasn't, for two reasons. One, he wrote the musical backdrop to the Regency, so all those dance tunes that you see them jumping about to on Regency dramas, they're written by him, and no sooner has he written something than people went out and bought it. He was left 2 legacies, but he spent them all on Savile Row, on fancies.
And he ended up on Gwere Street.
Well, no, he didn't, because he married a fellow slave, Anne Osborne, a sensible woman, and she persuaded him to purchase a house in Mayfair. They sold tobacco to the fancies, the first blood of the fancies who lived in Mayfair. And Lawrence Sterne, the author who wrote about Queer Street, he persuaded him, look, you were born a slave man. You should be all this business going on in America. You should be writing anti-abolitionist essays. And he didn't think of himself as a slave because he'd grown up in the Montagu household, had no recollection of any of that. But he thought, all right, and he was persuaded because he just liked writing music, really, and buying pretty things. Wow. And his wife said, yes, it's a jolly good idea, because they had 5 children. So he did, and they were the most powerful essays, so poignant, because he was so literate, such a beautiful writer, combined with his first-hand experience. It really moved people, moved the king to tears, and many more besides. And slavery was abolished.
Wow, that's
We'd
amazing.
Already abolished it here.
Right.
Yes, he was a great character, but he didn't want to be known for that. He didn't want to be known for being a slave. He wanted to be known for the dance music. He was the P. Diddy of his time.
Wow.
He definitely influenced William Wilberforce.
Well, he did, yes. He did influence William Wilberforce. He influenced many, but I just find it hilarious that he wasted 2 legacies, Montagu legacies, because when the Churchill's daughter Mary, she married, they made the first Lord Montagu he'd worked for had no sons, so the title died. So when he had no employment and he'd frittered his fortune, they left him a fortune. So they made her husband, Mary Churchill, Lord Marlborough's daughter, they made her Lady Montagu, and she and her husband, Lord Montagu, and they also, and Gainsborough painted him as a little boy by her, but also in his own right as a dance music composer.
Wow.
And that's Ignatius Sancho, Mayfair resident and eccentric.
Amazing.